Ready? Howdy ho, your hands on.
Load. Are we on? Is this thing on? Are we hot?
Howdy ho, you handsome hunk. Grab a snack and gain some chunk. If your day is great or really sunk, we hope to help you shake the funk. So if you're good to hear some junk, buckle up, it's the Junk Monk Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Junk Monk Podcast. I'm your host Kandyce Sloan, who you know from Instagram at Hardens and Hard Hats.
And I'm Noah, your co-host, who you know from Right Now.
If this is your first time listening, let us fill you in. We are watching and reviewing every episode of the USA hit TV show Monk right here each week.
We're going to do so while eating a little bit of junk. So I've got my junk food here, which is very sad this week, especially for a season premiere. I apologize, everyone, but I have Cheerios in a cup.
And I have, so mine's kind of a little bit of a letdown, only because I have eaten 80% of it, but it is cookies and cream fudge. And
That's way better.
It's really
than
good.
Mine.
So I have the hookup with this too, if you want some.
Really?
Also, you must know I have seen every episode of Monk. I'm a huge fan, started watching in 2007, and for the most part watched it as it aired.
I've seen season 1 and those we did on the show, and a few scattered here and there in different seasons.
So, if you're ready to start the show, Toby, take it away.
Here's what happened. All right, Kandyce, would you like to enlighten us on what's happening in season 6? It's season 6, Kandyce. We've waited so long for this.
So yeah, I forgot to mention this on our wrap up. So this is actually our first full season, right? Because on season 4 we kind of came in, not towards the middle, but kind of. Mm-hmm. Season 5 was our first entire season together, so that was pretty cool. All right, so this is season 6. Also, YouTube.
We're
on YouTube.
We have YouTube in the crowd today.
Yes,
we have the CEO of YouTube. Hello. She's not behind the camera.
That's just Toby.
Yeah,
she likes to dress up. I mean, he likes to dress up, sorry. Okay. All right. So this is season 6, episode 1, Mr. Monk and his biggest fan. So here's what happened. Noah, what are you doing? There's no hugging during the here's what happened. Did you remember that part?
Oh my gosh. That scared. I was like, wait, what am I? I thought I was like stepping on the mic or something.
I had to get you with that one. All right. In the opening scene, we see the return of Marci Maven, Monk's #1 fan, as she works on her Monk Museum website. We also see a man, John Ringle, returning from an afternoon jog to find his wife dead in their garage. The police go to confront Marcy and insist her dog Otto is the culprit, but when Otto is buried in the backyard, we know there's another explanation. With Marcy and her dog under suspicion, she bids $800 on Adrian during a police auction, forcing him to look into her case. He quickly realizes, for one, that she's crazy, but for two, that she may not be wrong about her dog's innocence. John Ringle had accused Otto of digging a hole under his fence, then attacking his wife, but Monk finds the hole dug the wrong way and dead flowers on his shovel. He also finds a piece of wood on Otto's brush, leading he and Marcy to search local lumber yards. They finally visit Ringle's lumberyard, where they find bite marks and some plaster mold in the lobby. Monk then begins his famous here's what happened. Ringle had taken Otto to his lumberyard, put him to sleep, made a metal cast of his teeth, then returned Otto, and then a few weeks later used the metal teeth to frame the dog and attack his wife with his new weapon. But of course, he waited too long, and Otto had died before he could carry out his plan. Ringle hears Monk's summation, and this leads to a shootout, ending with Randy taking out the killer timber style.
It was okay, I don't mean to diss all of season 5, but it was pretty much better than all of season 5, in my opinion.
We kind of discussed that. Not to give you too much into our ratings later, but we were like, wow, that was a really good episode. Uh-huh. So that was Mr. Monk and his biggest fan. All right, so likes, here we go.
Gosh.
Natalie's still rocking the hair. I was glad to see that. I was like, oh yes, we still have pretty Natalie hair. Uh-huh. And I honestly don't remember if she chops it off again, but I just love her beautiful long hair. So I thought I'd mention that.
The return of Marcy.
Yeah.
Which I don't remember which one she was in before.
She was in Mr. Monk and the TV Star. Remember, that's where the guy kills his wife with the yoga tape and he cranks up the volume really loud on the tape to make it sound like she was screaming. And then Marcy goes up to Sharona and hands her the petition to change the theme song. And then she ends up confessing to the murder for the TV star. And Monk's like, Marcy, I know you didn't do this. Mm-hmm. And then so at the end, she's like, Mr. Monk, I love you. You're the best. And he's like, okay, yeah. And shuts the door in her face. So that was in season 2. Uh-huh. So this is 4 seasons later, and Marcy's back, and she's crazier than ever.
Wow.
So she's had 4 years to be completely obsessed with.
That's
Adrian
crazy.
Monk. That's crazy.
She is very crazy.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. What do I have here? Bachelor Auction. I loved that whole thing.
It was.
I know you kind of figured it out, like right when you're like, oh, Marcy's gonna bid on Monk.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, but. It's still good. Wait for it. And Stuttlemeyer strikes back. Did you see him pull his pant leg up? It's like, all right, ladies. And then Linda.
And then, yeah, Linda
bids,
outbid like $2,000. $2,000. Crazy.
Yeah, but they're so cute. I liked it. I thought it was cute. So, do you have anything about the Bachelor Auction?
I don't, but actually, I have a quote. Okay, I haven't had a quote in a long time. It's when Monk walks in and Natalie's with him. Marcy goes, I don't think we need a chaperone, Mr. Monk.
That was so cute. 'Cause, yeah, they're walking right in the door and Natalie's like just standing there. And, it's really funny. She's like, I don't think we need a chaperone. That is really good. Okay, Bachelor Auction for me is the Randy striptease. Mm-hmm. It's like, all right, next we have Randy Disher. And he's like, this is the button-up shirt. He's like, should I take this off? And she's like, no, that's okay. And he's like, and he has his boom box. It turns the boom box on. He's like, yeah. And then that girl bids on him. But yeah, that's funny.
Monk Shrine. I don't know. I wrote Monk Shrine like 6 times.
Yeah. So yeah, I kind of have a big crazy Maven like section of my like section because, and then I mean, kind of spoiler alert, we're gonna talk more about some crazy moments of Marcy later on.
Yeah.
So we're probably not gonna mention them all because I was writing them down as stuff that I liked, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm writing every single thing down about this nut job. So I was like, oh, I'll just maybe put these in crazy moments, but. What do I have? Let's see. I like she steals the cup. She steals his glass, and she's like, yes, this is your glass, and this is your rug, and that's your lamp, and these are your pants. Natalie's like, his pants? Which I wrote that down because not only was it just hilarious, but I actually really liked. She's dressed like a monk the whole episode. I don't know, like I'm sure I recognized that before, but it's just like, what do you think that a crazy fan like that would wear? Like maybe like really bright colors or like, you know, flowers. Cause like the Monk Shrine, right? Yeah. We see pictures of Monk, but there's also like butterflies and trinkets and stuff everywhere. But she just dresses like Monk, and I love it. It's hilarious.
I saw a Little Monk cameo. It was amazing. Little Monk was on set. He lived to tell the tale. He's a little camera shy, so he won't be speaking today. But he was. Well, he made a cameo.
We could ask him if he liked this episode, though.
Here, you ask him.
I think he.
Candace, do the thing.
Do you want to set it on the table so we can hear him?
Do the thing.
What's the thing?
Do the thing with the head.
Oh, did you like this episode, Little Monk? He liked it.
You heard it here, folks.
He liked it.
Mr. Little Monk loved it. He loved being on set as well.
He did.
One nod can tell 1,000 words.
That's just one.
That's what they say.
Okay, what were we talking about? Oh, the Little Monk.
Yeah, he was part of Marcy's like weird playset of Monk.
Like diorama.
Yeah, it was very weird. And Natalie was a little troll.
That was awesome. Do you remember what the setup was? What episode it was?
No idea.
It was...
Was it the astronaut?
It was the 3 pies. which
Sharona was that one.
Yeah. Plot hole.
That's a major plot
I actually
hole.
didn't write that down.
Me
Not
neither.
gonna lie. Let's save it. Act like you didn't just hear us talk about that. Okay.
Nothing happened.
And cut.
We didn't.
Okay. Okay, so they have the dolls, right? So Marcy has Monk and, little troll. She also has herself. And I really want a Marcy one, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
That would be epic. I couldn't find one online, so if you find a Marcy one online, let me know. But don't buy it.
Don't buy it.
Just let me know.
We'll buy it.
Let me know, okay? And she has the dolls, and I wish we had a little doll. She gets one of your little pop dolls. And she's like, oh, Marcy, I can't imagine my life without you. Oh, Adrian, I've waited so long for this moment. Oh. And then Monk is like, okay, yeah, hey, are you a musician? Because he sees her guitar. And then, do you remember what happens then?
She sings. Kandyce was seriously debating putting the song that Marcy sings as our theme song.
I was just like, well, I didn't remember it. I didn't remember any of the words, but she rhymed all of her words, like the same words that we use. Like, I think he's a hunk.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, if you're in a little funk or something like that, and I was like, those are the lyrics of our song. I was like, why didn't we just use that? You're probably like, yeah, right. No, I really did not remember. I especially didn't remember my favorite part of the song. And she's like, I think he's a hunk. He's like, his name is Adrian. You think she's going to say Monk, but she doesn't.
It's Adrian.
It's Adrian. Adrian. And then he's like, okay, let's talk about the case. Because I don't think she was ever going to say Monk. I think she was going to go on with Adrian for quite some time.
Okay, I know this is going to sound crazy, and this is not completely baseless, but it's just a memory in my head. I think this is the first episode I ever watched. This one or the next one, because we've seen both of them so far. And it's either this one or the next one, because for some reason I remember them both super vividly. Yeah.
And okay, so then I will back that up because you watched them at my house, right? So you came over and we were watching it with Toby. Actually, Toby was there, just weirdly enough.
It was
just
before
full circle moment.
It was before we started this, and Toby was just our personal worker.
Yeah, isn't that weird? But anyway, so Toby was there, but Toby was actually, I was showing the show to him. And he was like, oh, that's great. And you were there, I don't know, playing video games or something, but you were there watching it. And so whenever we were like, hey, let's do this podcast, are you trying to show me something?
Okay, I'm using Kandyce's phone for notes because my phone is recording, right? She just got a notification from someone who said they just left a voicemail.
Oh, nice. We'll have to check that out, maybe, possibly.
Hey, you'll have to stay tuned.
That's exciting. I got distracted from that, too.
I know.
That's exciting. I love voicemail.
What were we saying?
Okay, what was I talking about? Oh, so anyway, so you were playing video games, so I was showing the show to Toby.
Oh, yeah.
And Toby was like all into it, and you were like, oh, yeah, this is pretty funny. And so I was like, well, you've seen Monk, right? And you're like, yeah, it's a pretty good show. I was like, let's do a podcast. So then that's where it all started, right? But as soon as you said, I think I've seen this, I was like, I think this is the first episode we watched, and which makes sense because it was this one, and then I was like, oh, the next one's really good too.
Yeah.
And we watched the next one. So, and then I think we went backwards to like maybe season 2 or something like that. But that's why you've seen a few episodes scattered here and there in different seasons.
Oh my gosh,
These are said episodes scattered about. So this might be the first episode that you ever saw.
I think so. I
think that's exciting. I think so.
It's a good one too.
Yeah, it's a
good
really good one. So this one might have sold you on it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Monk is good.
Yeah.
There you go.
It is. Yeah.
Perfect. I have. Okay, so they're set the scene. Marcy, Monk, Natalie in the backyard. She's like, yeah, here's Otto. There's where he was buried, which is his empty grave, right? And Natalie's like, and you're sure he was dead before? She's like, yeah, I'm sure my dog was dead before I buried him. God, what do you think? I'm a nut? And Natalie's like,
It's such a good episode. I can't.
Okay, and then the next one is, did anything happen like weird within like the past couple of weeks, like to Otto? And she's like, oh yeah, he ran away for like an entire day. He was missing. I put up posters everywhere, and then about 6 o'clock he just came back home, but he had wood chips all over him, so I had to brush him out. It took me hours. And then Natalie says, do you still have that brush? And she's like, do I still have the brush? And Monk is like, yeah, that'd be really helpful. And she's like, yeah, I'll get it. I love her so much. Do you have any more?
The Varsity Impression was amazing. Just saying.
Okay.
No, I'm just ready for dislikes.
Okay. Oh, that's what?
No. I like the episode. I really like the episode, but I don't know. I didn't write that many likes for how much I liked the episode.
Okay, so, and I think it probably has to do with, there's this really long scene, which is like, most of the stuff I'm talking about goes on for a really long time. So you're kind of just submerged in the craziness that is Marcy. And so it was really hard. I watched the episode 2 times just to go back and write down every crazy thing that she did.
There's a lot.
To put it in our later segment. But anyhow, I just love in general how crazy and unstable that she is, because she goes from being so happy, like everything to do with Monk is so happy, and then Natalie, she's like, ugh. So like it just tells you like how, I don't know what's wrong with her, but how
she said something about like another dude that she's gonna be like fan clubbing over.
Yeah, well, because she went from the movie star Brad Terry, I think was his name, to Monk. And then she got over Monk, and then now she's on to like F. Murray Abraham or something.
She said like Philip something.
It was something like that.
Weird.
Yeah, it was weird. But I love just the killer vibes. Like she has a kind of like murderous, which I feel like makes for a great episode, because you obviously are supposed to assume that Marcy didn't do it or that her dog didn't do it, but also she's so crazy that you're like, she's so crazy. Like she could have killed her dog. Because that's why I was like, I think I said during the episode, they think that she killed her dog. Why? And they're like, well, she would be convicted of like manslaughter. I was like, oh yeah, she probably killed her dog then.
Yeah.
Because she has those vibes. So.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do I have anything else?
Oh, I actually do have another like.
Okay.
Marcy's wearing his pants, which it was just really funny. I don't know. It was just hilarious. Like, this is your cup, that's your lamp, these are your pants, you know. She says it so nonchalant, like
His pants? I love it too. So I guess this will be my last thing. I think I pretty much okay, let's do my overarching theme. I know I usually save it for the end to try to tie it together, but I really do love this plot and the mystery of it. I think it's clever. Like I like how the guy uses the metal mold to make the jaw and to kill his wife. Like, I just think that I really like that. I don't think that there was, sometimes where it's like really heavy on the comedy and then the mystery is like a little bit lacking.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, the mystery wasn't that great.
But the mystery was pretty good.
I thought it was fine. Because how did this dead dog commit this murder?
Yeah.
So I actually really like that. And then you're done, right?
I'm done.
Okay, all right. So then my last thing is, which we talked about, I just overlooked it, but the shrine or the diorama section, right? I actually really like how she gives them names.
Yeah.
And then later she's like, come on, you always see, something is like plain as day, but then you look at it and you kind of switch things around and you figure it out. It's like just like Mr. Monk and the Astronaut, or remember Mr. Monk Goes Back to School. That was a fun one. And he's like, where did you get all of these names? I love it. I think it's really fun. I think it's fun.
So Marcy names all the episodes, confirmed. Am I wrong? Marcy is the writer of the show.
Fan theory. Swirl. My brain is swirling right now. All right. Okay, I'm done. I just love this one. So
I'm going to start off with what I dislike.
Okay.
Which, it's not like oh, this sucks, this is terrible. It's more of like personal stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Just what, okay, it's mostly like, this is creepy. Like, Marcy, creepy. The auto, like, teeth bite mark tool.
Yeah.
Creepy. So creepy.
Yeah. It is kind of, yeah, he's like, he's chopping his wife with it. Yeah, it's pretty creepy.
It was so creepy. Okay, so those were my two. And then, Kandyce, would you like to go next?
Okay, so just like I started off with the hair, right? Natalie hair, fantastic, love it. You know whose hair I did not like? Randy's. Did you notice?
I didn't even notice.
Like, longer hair. I remember he's playing with the kid with the blocks, and his hair is like, it's long. I didn't like it.
Really?
I put Randy hair, not a fan. So I don't know. I just started with hair. I thought I'd mention it. But no one bids on Mr. Monk.
Yes, I was about to say that, yeah.
Yeah.
That was really sad.
I figured so. That was a pretty main one. That was really sad.
Yeah, and Marcy doesn't even like Monk at the end of it.
Yeah.
Which just sucks.
That does kind of stink. What?
She was such a good character.
Which it kind of, yeah. I think it does stink. I think the only thing would be that how would we never see her again after, if she was still Monk's biggest fan? Mm-hmm. It would be like she's so obsessed with him. She offered to work for him for free. And so I feel like they kind of tied that storyline up where, we're over that. So
that's true. Yeah.
It does kind of stink that we didn't get to see her being his fan for like 4 years. Mm-hmm. So I see that.
It would have been nice if she like plopped in an episode or two.
Yeah.
Like that would have been cool.
Yeah. No, I think so too. But it's also Sarah Silverman, so
yeah.
But anyway,
she's big time.
Oh. Okay, this one is might be a little picky, like yours maybe. Okay, whenever Stoudemire and Linda are at the restaurant, and she's like, really like, hey, you haven't been spending time with me, blah blah blah,
yeah.
And he's like, okay, put my cell phone away, whatever. And then he comes up with the bite mark idea, and he's like, oh my gosh, I need to go tell Monk right now. But do you have to go tell Monk right now? I didn't think that teeth message was that important that he had to leave dinner and leave her to go.
Really?
I didn't think that.
What? He like saved Monk's life.
Okay, but he didn't know Monk was in danger.
Okay, but here's the thing.
I feel like that was almost plot hole. That was convenient that he rushed off to go save Monk, but he didn't know Monk was in danger. That could have been, they could have had dinner for an hour. He probably
said something.
And
like,
then afterwards.
Monk might be in danger or something. Because he says that sometimes. He says that. I
don't know. I feel like that. I felt bad for Linda. That's all I'm saying. That he was like, I have to go right away.
Please.
Which I will say nowadays it'd be like text, hey, yo, teeth upside down, send. And then Monk would have been like, got it. Or Natalie would have been like, got it. I don't know. I'm just saying. If that was my date, I would have been like, really?
What if Natalie saved the day? That would have been better.
Natalie kind of did. She pushed the cart and she knocked the guy out.
Oh, yeah.
But then the guy got back up, so I didn't really...
That's true.
It wasn't really like that noticeable. Yeah.
But what if it was like he sent a text on his little flip phone. It was like, Natalie... the blah 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 Monk's in danger, right? And she's like, dun 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 dun, and like proves herself to be better than Marcy. Guys, I should write the show. Me Kandyce.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Here we go.
Okay.
Do you have anything else?
No, that's all.
That's it. Okay. All
See,
right.
it was a good episode. There's not much dislikes.
Okay. We have a lot of Natalie sass.
There is a lot of Natalie sass.
I don't think it looks good on her. I am going to say that.
Oh.
Okay,
really?
so at first, I'm like, okay, obviously she wants to be with Mr. Monk. Like, that's her job. She's protecting him or whatever. But I had a couple of lines that I was like, ooh, Natalie's getting jealous.
Kandyce, you could just expect her to be this perfect person who's always boring and like, okay, yes, Mr. Monk, yes, Mr. Monk, blah blah blah, Mr. Monk, yes, Mr. Monk.
Okay, but I think it would have been funny. Like, I think the moments where she's funny when she says like, well, I don't know, you might be crazy, you know, when she doesn't know what to say. I think the little digs at her being crazy are funnier than her being jealous of Marcy.
They weren't supposed to be funny.
It
was supposed to be her proving herself.
But she wasn't proving herself. She was jealous of Marcy.
That's not true.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't like... She was totally jealous.
Oh, my gosh.
She says... Monk says, Natalie, come on. And so Marcy follows. And Natalie's like, he said Natalie. I was like, ooh, ouch.
Yeah, she likes Mr. Monk.
And then... And then the sanitary wipes. She's like, oh, I have some monogrammed wipes. And then Natalie's like, they're sanitary wipes? That kind of defeats the purpose. And
that does kind of defeat the purpose.
I mean, it does, but I'm saying there's
she's
line.
right, so...
Okay. And then one more line
when
she says...
Extra.
And then when she says, I've known Mr. Monk for a long time or whatever, and then Marcy's like, I've known him for longer or whatever, and then Natalie's like, stalking someone and knowing someone are two different things.
She's right!
But it doesn't, to me, it does not show, it doesn't show a good color for Natalie. I don't like it.
Good color. Oh, please, Kandyce.
Because I think
she's human.
Here's the thing. Wait. Here's my explanation. Monk is cray-cray, right? We know these things, okay? She spent however many years taking care of someone who has a little bit of offness to them.
Uh-huh.
But then when Marcy comes along and she knows for a fact she's way crazier than Monk is, she kind of cracks a little bit.
What?
That's what I'm thinking. I think Natalie just kind of cracks under the... That's what I'm saying. She's either a little jealous or she's so annoyed that it just comes out.
I think she's annoyed.
I just don't like it.
She might be jealous.
I just don't like it.
If only we had the writers on the show. No, I'm just kidding.
And then, okay, my last thing was poor Randy. That kid did not want to be a cop.
I know. No, I didn't. I don't want to be a cop. I wanted to be a cop when I was 9 years old. I'm 9.5.
You don't get paid and nobody likes you or something. It's like, oh, he's like,
you need to get paid a lot and nobody even likes you.
It's so sad. At least I got to play Timber though.
Yeah, Randy got super obsessed with it.
He did get super obsessed.
It would have been fun if they were like going out on the job and they were like did this like solid things and like, I don't know, it would have been cute.
Yeah, it would have been better than Timber, I think, but yeah, that's true.
I mean, it was kind of cute, but still, they could have milked that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. All right, next
that's
segment.
the next segment. He's the guy. Okay, I actually have. I mean,
it's kind of obvious.
It's kind of obvious
which one you have. But.
It's Marcy because
Yeah.
She's from School of Rock, which I recently watched again, and that's
a really good movie.
She was like the main guy's girlfriend.
Yeah. So Jack Black's the star, and then his roommate is kind of the nerdy guy.
Yeah.
And then she is his girlfriend who's like, you need to kick Jack Black out of the house, and he needs to get a job and all this stuff. Sarah Silverman, she has a very unique voice where she's like, job. And I love it. I love it. I think it's perfect for Marcy. That's all you had, right? That she's from School of Rock. So I know her from School of Rock. Also, she's just a stand-up comedian. Like, that's what she does. She's a stand-up.
I don't know.
She has, like, her own show. Sarah Silverman. Did I already say her name? Sarah Silverman. Okay.
Sarah Silverman.
Well,
Sarah Silverman.
I didn't know. She said, I don't know if I was saying Marcy or not.
No, you've been
but
saying
anyway,
Sarah.
So anyway, she's a stand-up comedian. I think she had her own show or her own podcast or something. She's like, I love America or I hate America. I don't remember which one.
We all hate America. We all love America.
I don't remember which one it is, honestly, but it's something like that. But I want to say she was also on Saturday Night Live for a while back in the day.
I think so.
Maybe. Yeah. And then I know her from School of Rock first, but then recognized her in an episode of Frasier, where it's one of the later seasons where Frasier decides that he wants to go back to private practice, and he's one of her, he's her doctor, and she's one of his first patients. And she comes in with this, like, really awkward story about her roommate, like, knows Frasier, and she's like, tells this story, and he's like, yeah, this isn't going to work out. And she's like, okay. And because she can't stop laughing, like, making fun of him. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about it again. And he's like, okay, this isn't going to work. So It's not an appropriate story to tell, but
It's not.
yeah, it's not. But anyway,
Never will be.
she's on an episode of Frasier. Other than that, I haven't really seen her much, but I do know that she's very big. She's very famous. So, and she's very she's pretty famous. I say very a lot, but she's pretty famous.
She's very.
Okay. All right. And I have two. I'm almost done with The Middle. Right? The TV show The Middle.
Oh, yeah.
I'm almost done. So I have two. He's the guy from that I recognize. The first one is Tommy's foster mom in Mr. Muck and the Kid. You know, where she's like, big deal. The kid found a pinky or whatever. Uh-huh. So her name is Nicole Sullivan. She's been on a ton of stuff. I don't know if you recognize her. She was on the High School Musical series. Her name was Carol. She was in 2 episodes. I saw that credit on her thing. I don't know if you know who that is. But anyway.
Carol?
Yeah. And then you can look that up while I'm telling you the
will.
one. So on The Middle, she played a character named Vicky, who was when Frankie, something happens where something breaks. The TV breaks or something, and she goes to walk outside, and she runs into this neighbor lady or something. And so they're walking. They become like walking buddies, and she's the walking lady named Vicky on The Middle.
What?
And then my next one is I was writing some He's the Guys down, and I was like, you know what? I think this guy was on Monk. Do you know on The Middle, the PA guy, whenever Frankie works at Ellert Motors, and he's like, hi, Frankie, you have a call on line 1. It's Axel. Okay, that's the homeless guy in Mr. Monk and the Captain's Marriage that has Ricky the Rat. That's him.
Ricky.
Yeah. Do you remember you might have to look up his face, but you'll be like, oh yeah, the homeless guy. He's the PA guy. He's on there for 4 years, for the entire time that Frankie works at Eller Motors. He's the guy who's talking over the PA system. And then I think his last one was when he's like, bye, Frankie. And she starts crying because she gets fired. And then he's like, also, you left your purse inside. And she's like, dang it. She's crying. And she has to go back inside. But anyway, so I thought that was interesting. That I recognized it. I was like, I think that guy's from Monk. Because I was picturing the guy from Cougar Town, which is the same guy.
So is she... Which one? I don't remember.
This one.
This one? Mm-hmm. Really?
Mm-hmm. I never watched High School Musical, the musical.
It's...
One. I watched High School Musical. 1, 2, and 3. Super fan.
It's alright.
We're all in this. I actually have a High School Musical song pulled right up on my computer right now.
What?
That's
no
funny.
way.
What I've been looking for.
Who's Carol?
I don't know. She could have been on it for 2 seconds. Who knows? I have no clue.
You said it was for 2 episodes.
I did say that. 2 seconds and 10
It might
episodes.
be one of their moms.
1 episode each second episode. Anyway. All right, I'm done with He's the Guy. So
yeah, obviously, so do I want to be, but golly, but I'm working on it. Carol from...
Insert Jeopardy song while Noah looks this up.
Please don't. High School Musical series.
All right, so now
we'll get back to you on that one. I'll rewatch the entire series because it's not that bad. I'll rewatch the entire series just to figure out who Carol is. Okay.
Junk time.
Junk time. Junk time. Okay, so welcome back to my favorite time in years in the show where I get to pop out some junk and Kandyce asks me some questions.
But I have fudge, so
you do a fudge.
Do you want to try a chunk of it?
No.
Sure?
Yeah.
It's really good.
I'm good with my Cheerios. They're very scrumptious delicious. I have Coca-Colas down there, but they're so warm. Who likes warm Coca-Colas?
Warm soda is nasty.
Yeah, terrible. So what I have to do is I have to get a cup of ice and then just pour it in there, and then boom, it's cold in 3 seconds.
Yeah. See, but I don't like to pour soda over ice because it makes it all foam and stuff. Yeah,
I don't know. I like it. It's fine.
I like to put, it's complicated. I put the can, like, in a thing of ice and, like, chill it as fast as I can. Yeah.
That's crazy. What?
Okay.
What?
All right, junk time.
Yes.
My first question for you is, okay, so we see in this episode, right, a little bit of Marcy fan fiction. Where she's like, shoot him with your gun. He's like, I don't have a gun. She's like, you did in Mr. Monk and the Dragon's Lair? Oh, wait, I made that one up. It's called fan fiction. Okay, so...
Marcy created fan fiction.
What is your Monk fan fiction episode?
Okay.
Well, what's one you would choose?
What do you mean? Like, if I could do anything. Like, if make up my own story?
Yeah, if you wanted to see an episode of Mr. Monk and...
That's easy.
It is?
Yeah. Mr. Monk and the kid, except the kid's all grown up.
Oh, so what's it called?
Mr. Monk and the boy.
That is so creative. I love it.
And it's Mr. Monk and the tween. I don't know. Mr. Monk and Tommy returns of the third. Part 6.
I'm trying to think. I bet a lot of people would really like that idea.
Right?
Yeah.
Or just maybe a reboot. Like, reboot's the easy way to go, but I don't know.
No, but it's got to be a specific
Tommy.
episode that we haven't seen Mr. Monk do blank.
Monk finally gets his badge, and then... Or he probably does that at the end of the series. I don't know. Monk... like, maybe after he got his badge. Because he probably gets the badge at the end of the series. And, like, maybe the episode after that, he's just, like, a normal dude. Or not normal, but, like... He adopts the kid, and the kid's, like, 6 now. And it's, like, cute still.
Yeah. I actually... I know I give you some grief for it, but Mr. Monk and the Boy or something like that where... Because I don't like the ones that are too, like, spoiler. Like, when you read them, you're like, oh. Like, Mr. Monk and the Adoption, and you're like... So Mr. Monk's going to adopt the kid, you know? So it's like Mr. Monk and the Boy, and you're like, Mr. Monk and the Boy, and then you watch it, and it's Tommy. And you're like... I was just working the kid and the boy, but yeah. Well, obviously, Mr. Monk and the Junk Monk podcast.
Well, duh. Monk comes on the Junk Monk podcast, and he's like, here, little Monk will act them out. He's like,
that's what we need to do.
I can't touch anything.
We need to do a fanfic episode, Mr. Monk and the Junk Monk podcast.
Oh gosh.
Where somehow we
I do not want to do that.
but we're the stars, like how he's on the air. You know, and Max Hudson is the murderer.
Gosh.
But, like, we're his clients, because I don't want to be the murderer. Or maybe one of us murders the other one.
Wait, what if little Monk is the murderer?
And we have to figure out how.
Little Monk killed somebody.
And then he comes into the studio and he sees our thing and he's like, oh, gosh. Because he gets, like, crazy Marcy vibes. And he's like, and we're like, no, it's okay. We're not crazy. We just, that's online, you know. Something that actually would be would be pretty fun to do.
What if Toby was the murderer? We shut him down and he's like, that guy's familiar. He's gonna like do his little snooping while I don't know.
Yeah.
And then he convicts Toby of
my brain is
life in prison.
My brain is running right now. I'm not even gonna lie. My brain is running right now. That would be really fun to actually do. We should do like a fan fiction entire episode.
Oh jeez.
Like, I'm not saying our episode, the whole episode. I'm saying like, you know, people have done fan fiction online.
Yeah.
So we should do that sometime. Let's see. For me, Mr. Monk. Okay, and I really don't like musical episodes. I really don't like musical episodes, but I don't want everyone to be singing. I just want to see Monk sing.
He's probably good.
I love when Monk sings.
Adrian is he's good at everything.
Like somehow, because I feel like the music on this show is fantastic. And just little like somehow it's like Mr. Monk, because we've already seen him in a play though.
Yeah, what if he was like forced into a situation where he had to sing?
But then somehow also Randy and the captain also are singing.
Oh my gosh. Like Randy's band is about to play or something and none of them show. So then everyone's got to gang together and cuz Randy made everyone come to like all the rehearsals so everyone knows everything. Or Monk knows everything. So Monk kind of saves the show and maybe they're playing like an oldie song, so the Stottlemyre already knows it, and probably so does Natalie, because I don't know. Maybe Natalie's just like played the guitar or something before.
Okay, so what if Natalie is like directing a school play for Julie?
Okay.
And then because we know Trailer doesn't like to sing.
Yeah.
So she's directing the play, and there's a bunch of kids she's corralling, but she needs a few people to fill in. Like Randy's like, I want to do it.
Yeah.
And then she's like, Captain, please do it.
He shows up with like sheets of music.
And then at the last second, someone gets sick or something. This is pretty close to the play, though.
Yeah.
It's pretty close to Mr. Monk Goes to the Theater. But we need to somehow where they're all incorporated.
Yeah.
And do some type of musical something. But not the whole episode. I don't like when dialogue turns into song. I don't like that.
It's just yeah.
But something like that. Mr. Monk in the musical or something. I don't know. Okay, my wheels are turning. Okay.
I know. There's so much that could happen.
All right, because this is all in theory. So my next question is, what model would you make?
Like the diorama?
Yeah, the diorama. Which episode would you choose? Because it's only one scene, right?
So, geez.
Like your teacher's like, all right, from a TV show. And you're like, oh, well, of course, Monk. Which one am I going to do?
Yeah.
That would be so cool, because then you could use this
Yeah,
guy.
I could just use little Monk, and he's...
That'd be
I'd be
perfect.
like, this is my co-host from my podcast. It's just me and little Monk. Nobody else. We just sit here and talk. Isn't that right, little Monk?
I picture him as Coach Monk. I like that.
Coach
Mr. Monk in the big game.
That'd be good.
Give him a little whistle around his neck. And then you have a little troll.
Maybe even give him a little hat.
Natalie and the little troll Julie's and her little friends.
A little troll Natalie.
The basketball goal.
Maybe.
I think I might do that one. I like that answer. I like Mr. Monk in the big game.
I forget what the jury duty one was like. Maybe even like he's on top of like a building.
All the people
and like Natalie's at the bottom.
Like a facade, and he's like out there, and then she's down here, and she has a bowl of Cobb salad.
I was like,
also would be really fun. Not gonna do this. We're like turning into Marcy as we're like, maybe she was on something. I think the podcast is enough for now.
Yeah,
about
that's
the dioramas. True. But
I was thinking, like, we're not like Marcy, are we? Like, I mean, we have a podcast for it, but I know we're not like Marcy.
We only have one. We don't have the diorama.
We only
yet.
have one little Monk. Okay, come on.
We only have one. We don't have all the bobbleheads, so
yeah,
I think we're safe.
That's true.
Okay, next thing. We're done with our questions, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So I wanted to start a new, not an entire segment, but just a little tidbit, a little piece of, I'm calling it viewer's voice. Okay.
Really?
So you know how during junk time we always give social media updates, right?
Yes.
Like, we have this going on. So I was thinking that would be cool if we could ask people in advance what they think of the episodes we have coming up. Mm-hmm. Instead of always asking them, which we're still going to do that, like, what'd you think of this episode? Yeah. And, to have people chime in. But just a little tidbit of, what do you think about this episode we have coming up, so that we can get some feedback before we talk about it. So, we're going to do our first viewer's voice today. And let me pull it up here.
Viewer's voice.
So this person obviously has an alias, okay? Because it's Leland Rodriguez. Okay.
Ooh.
So I asked, and I think I'm going to try to sprinkle them more through like the segments instead of junk time. But so I asked, like, for example, for this episode, I asked, how crazy was Marcy this episode?
Okay.
And this person, so this was a negative comment. So this might even be like maybe
this is weird. I didn't think of it this way.
In a dislike section.
Yeah, I'm reading this right now, and I don't even. I didn't even think about it like that. Yeah, I'll read it.
Okay, so this is from Leland.
Okay, so he says, I don't know why, but Mr. Monk and the biggest fan. What is it?
His biggest fan.
Mr. Monk and his biggest fan is one of my least favorite episodes. The fourth wall breaks just annoyed me, and Marcy infuriated me. It was just bad.
Yeah.
Marcy she was funny.
I think the interesting thing here is the fourth wall breaks. Right?
Yeah.
So when he's talking about the fact that, like, the names of the episodes, like, where'd you get those names? Obviously, we know those names, but they're not supposed to know those names. So I think that's what... And honestly, like, this isn't the first time we've seen that, though, because the last time that Marcy was in the episode when they talked about the petition for the theme song, that would be the break that they're talking about too, right? Mm-hmm. So we have seen it before.
But they do make subtle nods like that, like the whole contract being renewed.
That's true.
They make subtle nods like that all the time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
they don't need that.
Yeah, so it's not the first time that we've seen it. I could see how, like, maybe if you're, like, looking at the camera and it's like, whoa. Looking at the camera is a totally different thing than mentioning something that's real.
I don't remember any fourth wall breaks other than that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, but that's we want to hear no matter what, no matter if we agree with you, disagree with you, we want to hear what you have to say about our upcoming episodes. So, I mean, you know the order. So if you know one, especially like if it's one of your favorites or something, let us know. If it's one of your least favorites and you're like, oh gosh, if they like this episode, I'm going to be mad. Yeah. Let us know.
If you disagree with us, we will crush your opinion. That was a joke. We're just kidding. We're all just having fun.
But you could also send us, like, He's the Guys, plot holes. You could send us any different segment that you want. Like, hey, I love this episode. Like, if it was me, I would have been like, make sure you mention Sean Astin. I love him. Yeah. You know, like something like that. Uh-huh. So if you have any of those, feel free to send them our way, and you might be our next viewer's voice.
Is that all we have for Junk Time?
It is all we have.
Plot holes. Okay, we'll go back to not a favorite time of the show. Or it's Kandyce's.
My favorite time of the show.
Ugh. Oh, jeez.
My favorite time of the show, where we dig in.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. First plot hole. Weird Photoshop thing at the beginning. Mm-hmm. Marcy uses some weird high-tech alien stuff to take off, like, Monk's head of, like, his body. Or, like, Natalie's head or something. To make it her head, she, like, switches it so that way they're, like, next to each other or something, and it's super weird and frankly impossible.
So what's
she
the plot hole?
She just did, like, a cutout of, like, the head, and it was perfectly, like, cut out. It just didn't make...
Yeah. No, that was the first thing I wrote. That's not how the lasso tool works. If you cut somebody's head out,
it's just going to be white behind it.
It's white behind it.
She could have, like, done that, too. It could have been white behind it, but they still didn't.
Now, you could have made that, which is how they would have made that.
Yeah.
They would have made that with an overlay of the background. But if they knew that, why would they make it that way? If they had to make the photo that way, why wouldn't they just leave it white? I didn't understand that.
Crazy.
Yeah, that was a...
Because you can't just, like, get a photo of yourself and just, like, draw a line over it, and then it's, boom, photoshopped out, and you're just, like, completely gone. Woo.
Yeah. You have to take two pictures, overlay them, undo that. Yeah. She would have had to do a lot more work to make that happen. Yeah. So, agreed. I wrote that down as well. Okay. Mine is, I know we talked about the fourth wall break. Mm-hmm. Okay. But I don't think this applies. It, like, kind of does, but it's more of in the Monk verse. How would Marcy know that Monk says, you'll thank me later, and here's what happened? How would she know those things? All she would be doing is reading articles and doing dioramas, making reports, but how would she know that he says those things? I think she
follows him. I think, because she said she talks about all, like, the stuff, Mr. Monk and the astronaut, like.
But that was in the paper.
What if she was there, though? Like, that'd be cool if she went there. I mean, that explained everything, pretty much. The only weird thing would be that she named the episodes.
Because, like, she was like, ooh, say it, here's what happened. And maybe that is what he's talking about with the fourth wall break. Like, how would she know that? Yeah. Maybe that does overlap a little bit. Because if it's a plot hole, how would she know? Because she obviously, like I said, she would know Mr. Monk and the astronaut, or the three pies when she makes a diorama, and she knows these things, but she's not going to know his catchphrases. He's not just always going, you'll thank me later, when he's just walking around. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. That was one of mine.
Okay, this is the biggest plot hole I've ever had. People pay $2,000 for Stottlemyre, which is, it's Linda, but still, they were going like $800. But nobody pays for Adrian? Not 1 cent for Monk.
Okay.
It's... astounding. How Stoudemire but not Monk?
Okay.
Doesn't.
I want to tie this into my plot hole. Okay.
Oh my god.
Follow this train of thought. So right, if this is my plot hole.
Okay.
Lady chooses shirtless man for her son.
That's true.
Okay, right? So if you really chose him because you wanted him to be a cop, why would you not choose the best detective? Hence your plot hole.
Monk.
Why wouldn't you pay for Monk?
That's true. That's so true.
And if you were just gonna get a person for your son, wouldn't you want to be like cheaper?
Yeah.
Like I would hold out like $100.
Yeah. What if
I'd be
it
like,
was
no one's bidding on him.
Yeah. What if it was like cute and everyone was bidding on Monk and he was like, aw. Like they could have made that a moment where it was like everyone's bidding on Monk and they're who's gonna outbid each other, and then Marcy shows up. She's like, $20 billion, and they're like, what? Right? Maybe even go up to like $600, and then she's like $800.
Yeah, like maybe if she even got pity, like he got pity bids at the beginning, like $50. At least Monk might be like, oh, $50, or something. Instead he was like,
everyone's just looking at him like,
But that does lead us into $800.
Yeah.
And then he's like, $2,000. Or what, I think he says like $6,000 or something like that. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, you can't bid on yourself. And he's like, anyone? And he's like, wait. Beefcake. Oh, you can't forget that moment. Because I think maybe that's why they made him so sad. And then he's like, I'm over it really quick. Just because he wants someone to bid on him. So it's sad. And then, oh, someone's bidding on me. Please help.
yeah.
Beefcake.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yolton?
I have a couple of timeline things. Okay.
Couple?
First, the 3 pies
Wow. Okay.
was not last summer.
Yes.
Because again,
It was like
Sharona.
3 years ago.
So that was, let's see, we're in season 6, and that was season 2.
Yeah.
So 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that was not even close to last summer. Okay. Monk mentions that he and Natalie have been together for 3.5 years.
Not true.
Not true. Do you remember when he says that? Because she says, I'll be your assistant. And he's like, oh, well, I already have Natalie. We've been together for 3.5 years. And she's like, I'll work for free. They've been together for 2.5 years. Because they've been together since middle of season 3, middle of season 4, middle of season 5, beginning of season 6. It's 2.5 years, not 3.5 years. Boom.
Crazy.
Plot hole. Okay. I've got a stoddy plotty. Okay.
Okay.
Who doesn't turn their ringer off of their phone before they throw it into their briefcase?
That's true.
Like he's like, oh, the phone's ringing. He's like, you see the
not a
phone?
good
And he puts it
one.
in there and closes it. Everybody's looking at him, though, because his phone is ringing. And it's like, ring, ring,
Oh,
ring,
that's
ring.
true.
He puts it in there and it's still ringing, and then he just sets it down. I'm like,
Yeah,
if you're not
turn
going to
it off.
answer the phone, turn your phone off. So
Yeah.
I didn't think that made sense.
I have a plotty.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I have it written down, but I don't want to. I already know by heart, Okay, so why didn't he just wash the shovel? He didn't wash the shovel.
The killer.
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh, the flower here is the part of the flower there," and it's like, you couldn't have washed the shovel or made it look a little bit like. Obviously, you dug it from your side of the fence. Like how you're not fooling.
Yeah.
If you're gonna kill your wife and be like, "Oh, it was a dog," you'd probably pay attention to that, no?
Or like they snuck into his yard and did all that. He couldn't sneak into her yard and dig the other way.
Yeah. And Marcy said she was out the entire day looking for him. So he had an entire day to just dig a little
he already
hole.
stole the dog, steal the dog, dig it, and then go. Instead, he digs it from his own side. I would have thought, like, maybe he takes the dirt and he throws it over the other side to make it look like it came from the other side.
Yeah.
But no, nothing. That's a good one. I like that.
It was a good mystery. I will give him that.
Yeah, it was
a good mystery.
And then, okay, so Toby contributed this one.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. So who picks up one small piece of wood and says, "This is mahogany or teak wood."
Monk?
And then says, "It must have come from a lumber yard." There's not more places where you could... What if the dog just, like, ran through the lumber yard? Or if the dog was missing all day long, that doesn't mean he was in the lumber yard all day.
Yeah.
It means he could have got into something. He obviously dug a hole.
Uh-huh.
He would have been dirty. Like, he could have been anywhere and gotten anything on him. So for one, he knows what kind of wood it is from a tiny speck, and then from that speck says, "Oh, it's wood, so it must be from a lumber yard."
Wait. He digs the entire hole, yet there's no gate. The hole, you can see the hole if you go, like, each side.
Mm-hmm.
There's no gate. If the dog was there, he could have just walked around.
What do you mean?
There didn't need to be a hole there. A dog wouldn't do that if he was going to, like, next door. He would have walked around the fence.
But the gate was closed.
But it wasn't. Oh, the guy had a gate, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they walked through the gate. Yeah. They walked through the gate.
Dang it.
It's all right.
Dang
It's
you.
all right, you tried. Okay.
Dang you, Plotty the Platypus.
Okay.
Get it for, like, videos.
All right, my last one's just a little callback. I noticed Randy doing some Sunny Chow moves in his striptease. Mm-hmm. He was like, "Hola." So I was like, oh, because he loves Sunny Chow. Mm-hmm. So I figured that was from that. So
That's all I have, Kandyce.
that's all I have as well.
We're about to we're wrapping it up like we always do. How crazy was Marcy this episode? Okay, so we're switching it up. Isn't that right, Kandyce?
Yes.
It's how crazy was Marcy. I'm gonna go first since I am usually lacking in the crazy department. So I'm gonna go first. Kandyce is gonna finish everything.
Okay. Do you want to go out of 10 what?
Yes.
Okay.
Out of 10 monogrammed wipes.
All right. I like that one. Out of 10 Natalie troll dolls.
That's a good one. Okay. Obviously, number 1, the monogrammed wipes, because duh. I only have 3. So the monogrammed wipes,
Oh, gosh.
the monk shrine, and the restraining order. That's all I have. I mean, usually 3 is the max amount I have.
Can you think of any more off the top of your head that we've already talked about?
She wants to replace Natalie, which is weird.
Yeah.
Right. Also, she's like
Her head.
she's super like weird about talking, like Monk talking to someone whenever she was like, okay, clean this, then don't talk to him, don't make eye contact, da 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 da, and then she let him talk. That was good.
Yes, I have that. Okay, you want me to go?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, so she cuts out Natalie's head.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Oh, God. Okay. She knows he's there because she can smell him behind the door.
Oh, that's good.
She drove Monk to Corpus Christi, but it was not her fault because it was Thanksgiving.
Uh-huh.
She bids $800 on Monk. She took all of his stuff. Rug, pants, glass, lamp. She sent Monk all her demos.
Mm-hmm.
And then she sings her beautiful song. And this is what I thought you would say for your out of 10, but clue hug.
Oh, that's a good one.
10
Clue hugs.
hugs.
Out of 10 clue hugs.
She still has the brush.
Of course.
I'll go get it.
I'll go get it.
She forgets about the lumber yard. Remember, they're like going to different lumber yards. She's like, oh yeah,
He owns a lumber yard.
he owns a lumber yard? I forgot. It's so funny. And then my last crazy Marcy moment is she waves the white flag.
Uh-huh.
She's like,
Oh my gosh, I'm done.
She's like, I've been shot. What? This isn't fun anymore. Why did you bring me here? Marcy, just shut up. What? No, hang on. Excuse me. I want to go home, okay? This isn't fun anymore. I'm like,
She's psycho.
That was right. Oh, she says pause. She's like, pause. Can we pause? Like, this is a game. That's so funny. And then the reason that we did this, that was my last moment, but the reason that we did this was because Monk was like, nothing, like barely. We have monogram wipes. Mm-hmm. Do you remember your other crazy Monk moments? Because we were like, we have none.
Yeah. Monk was pretty, I would give him about a 1.
Yeah, that's what I gave him.
Yeah.
I gave him 1.
But Marcy kind of doubled down on all of it. And I gave her a 8 out of 10.
Really? Okay, out of 10 Natalie troll dolls, I gave her 2 tens worth of Natalie troll dolls. I gave her 20 troll dolls. I'm sorry, but she is crazier than we've ever seen Monk ever be. So she pushes pause.
That's true.
On a real life situation.
I'll do 10 out of 10.
She pushes like all of the other stuff. Like, okay, she's a crazed fan, but she is outside of her mind when she thinks like all this is a game. Like she's watching it and she's like, "Oh, I'm living this. This is so much fun," and then it's just a game to her. That is anything. That's so crazy. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
2 tens.
I'll give her a 10 out of 10.
Okay. I did want to mention what did it? Oh, this one moment, this one crazy Monk moment. Did you catch it at the beginning when she wants him to do the Bachelor Auction, and he's like, "What? Why?" And she's like, "It's for a good cause. It's for widows of police officers." And he's like,
"Always the widows."
He's like, "Ugh, why can't they just move on?" I thought that was a pretty crazy Monk moment, so I thought I'd add that.
That was a good one. Oops. Dang it! Okay. Rate this episode. Okay. I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm just gonna say I rated it really high.
Okay.
Like really high.
Okay.
So you can go first.
Okay. All right. I don't know how high you rated it, though. Okay, so this is the start of a new season, so I've got to give you my spiel in case you're just tuning in, and then you're like, what is she talking about? Okay, so you've already kind of seen it. I gave Marcy 2 tens on the crazy scale, but I think every Monk episode deserves a 10, so that's my flat baseline score, right? And then the lowest is a 10, right? The highest is 2 tens. So Noah has a conversion chart, right?
Yes.
So if I say 10.8, that's an 8 out of 10, basically. Right, okay.
Just flip the numbers.
Okay. So right, so I'm ready. We're ready for this, right?
We're ready.
Okay, so what a way to start the season. Season 6. Holy cow. I personally loved the show, like kind of poking fun at itself, kind of what we were talking about, the fourth wall situation. And Marcy was beyond crazy. And I think it's a great example showing Monk's quirks and all of his stuff is so relative to, right? He functions in normal society and everything. And Marcy is just cray-cray. Great comedy for this one. Great mystery for this one. Top-notch episode. So I'm going to go with 2 tens.
Really? A 10 out of 10?
I'm doing it. When we talked about it and we said...
Perfect score.
We said that... I talked to Toby about this. We talked about it. We were like, we thought this was better than Mr. Monk is on the Air. And we rated that one, a 9.85? So if it's better, it's better. It's got great mystery, great comedy. Like, I went for it. I think it's...
Really?
It's an episode that I want to watch. I watched it 2 times doing this. I would watch it again.
It's a good episode. It's a really good episode.
I went for it.
Well... So you gave them the perfect. I gave them a 9 out of 0.5, which I won't back down on. I think it's all right.
Okay.
It's not perfect. It's not action, comedy, everything like the jury duty. I don't know. The jury duty is just such a high standard, and it just doesn't come quite close enough.
Yeah. See, and I agree on the fact about the action part of it. But what I will say just in generalities is that, and that's what I was thinking. I'm like, well, what constitutes a perfect Monk episode? And it's like, I don't think that necessarily every single episode is going to have all of those things at top notch, like the jury duty. And I'm not saying that that's my personal favorite, but that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
Is that just because it has all of those things doesn't mean that it is my favorite episode. So just like the Butler one, totally subjective to me because it's the first episode I saw. I love seeing Monk as a butler. I kind of using that as like I can see that is a personal favorite, so I ranked it very high, but I can also be like objective of it checks off this box, this box, this box, and this one does that for me, and I personally really liked it. So it helped, that increases its score, right? So, that's how I'm trying to kind of look at them from now on, right? Because I feel like I think we did pretty good for season 5. I think we did pretty good on our rankings.
Yeah.
But just looking at it from now, as we continue comparing these episodes to last season's episodes and trying to keep those in keeping with that as well, I thought Mr. Monk is on Air is a really great episode, and I thought this one was better. It's funny. It's so funny, and it keeps you suspense on, is she crazy? No, she's not crazy. And dog jaw. I love it. I love it. I'm done.
It's good. Thank you for Leyland Rodriguez for giving us your viewer's voice. And if you guys want to give us your voice, we're just gonna snatch your voice out of your vocal cords. And just DM us on Instagram.
Just put it on here. Also, we got a WhatsApp. So I know a lot of people use WhatsApp, and somebody I think from like people from different countries where they can't necessarily call. U.S. number, you can actually use that same phone number, I believe, to call us on WhatsApp. So use that phone number, and then we can like start a chat. And you can't leave us a voicemail because I don't think it has voicemail box. But what you can do is you can record a voice memo, send it to me on that chat. And you could also always send us a voice memo via email, Instagram, however, too. Yeah. So voice memos are also cool because they're actually really clear. Yeah. So either way, send us a voicemail, or if you're in a different country, send us a voice memo. We'll welcome all opinions. And
yeah. So thank you, Leyland. Thank you, Kandyce. Thank you, Little Monk.
Oh, of course, Little Monk.
Little Monk was in the episode. Come on,
know. This was like his episode. That's crazy. That's really cool.
We barely talked about him though.
I know it's sad.
It's all right. He'll probably be in some more. He's like the season cover for Amazon.
Let me get a doll. I'm doing it.
Do it. What? No, not that. Phineas. It's Phineas from Phineas and Ferb.
The end scene where Marcy sends back all the stuff and she pulls out the Marcy doll and the Monk doll. And what does she say? She's like, "Oh, Mr. Monk, you saved the day. I love you. Let's seal it with a clue hug. Clue hug. Oh." And he's like, "Natalie, knock it off. I know it's you." So, clue hug for Mr. Monk. Take it like a man. Take it like a man.
Take it like
with
a man.
The little naked Phineas. This is getting really weird, so I'm going to stop now. Okay. I just wanted to give him his moment to shine. So.
Yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you in episode 2 with Snoop Dogg. Wait.
We need that one.
Wait.
Well, let's save it for next week.
No,
we can save it.
We'll see you in the next episode with Snoop Dogg. Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Junk Monk Podcast. We'd love to hear from you, so please give us a 5-star review wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, follow us at Junk Monk Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
If you want to know more about Kandyce, she's at Hardens and Hardhats on Instagram. And if you want to know more about me, Noah L., subscribe to my vlog, Noah Hernandez, on YouTube. Also, you can leave us a voicemail at 323-366-0477 with your questions, comments, or just to show us some love.
Don't forget to catch up on Monk with Amazon Prime Video, and of course, subscribe to our show.
You'll thank me later.